This is Psychic Treasures Unlimited, here to talk to you about the full Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse occurring on March 14th at 2:54 a.m. here on the East Coast in the sign of Virgo. We have said this repeatedly, the astrology of this eclipse season unfolding over the next month and a half is uncharted territory and looks mind-blowingly chaotic. We don't know how else to put it. We feel that life will be completely different before and after this eclipse season, with so many planets in the mix and activations that will lead to destined change. Venus recently stationed retrograde, asking us to reevaluate our relationships, what makes us feel valued, and what we need to feel balanced. We are setting boundaries and ending dysfunction in our relationships to take care of ourselves. Venus also asks us to reevaluate money and how we spend it. This Venus retrograde happening during eclipse season feels very karmic. An eclipse occurs when the Earth is between the sun and the full moon. So the sun's light causes Earth to cast a coppery shadow on the moon that looks like a blood red color. That is interesting if we look at things symbolically, which Spirit always does. A lunar eclipse is like a full moon on steroids. So if you are feeling extra emotional, like this is a pressure cooker, you are not alone, and this is normal for these energies. This too shall pass. This full moon will be conjunct the South Node, which denotes the past. Full moons are a time to let go and release, especially with so much planetary energy piled up in Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, which represents endings of cycles and chapters. This eclipse ushers in fated karmic events and endings over which we have no control that may force us to release our old ways. Lessons of the past will resurface and demand change. This eclipse will affect the mutable signs the most, which are Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius. Saturn, the planet of discipline and structure, will be conjunct the Sun in its death and rebirth cycle, and Mercury will also station retrograde at the time of this eclipse, activating the energies even further. We are being asked to operate differently than we did in the past through the lessons of this eclipse season, and will be given the seeds to plant new. The trine to Uranus can bring innovative solutions to the problems we are facing at this time. Virgo is about details. The smallest things going wrong can set us off right now. Virgo is also connected to health and how we can better take care of ourselves. You may feel especially focused on this right now. Mercury, the planet of communication, is the ruler of Virgo, so the fact that it stations retrograde in fiery Aries while the moon is in Virgo during an eclipse will likely lead to especially difficult communication and testing of relationships during this Mercury retrograde cycle, lasting until mid-April. Remember, Mercury retrograde can lead to travel delays, errors in agreements and contracts, technology glitches, etc. We always find that a great antidote to the headaches of Mercury retrograde is gratitude, which is literally a magnet for miracles. It is almost spring. We have more and more sun each day, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. We all have something to be grateful for, and these energies will not last forever. Here are the forecasts for all 12 signs for the crazy combination of astrological energies going on right now. There are timestamps in the description box below, so you can jump to your sign if you don't want to listen to all of this. Hello, beautiful Aries. Venus and Mercury are both retrograde in your sign. You are going to want to make changes to your appearance, but it is not wise to make big changes during this transit, as Venus can skew your judgment while retrograde. It is a good time to return to a former style or product that used to work for you. You may also reconnect to people from the past. This Mercury retrograde will ask you to reflect, review, and reassess, and you could be focused on changing your property. The lunar eclipse is encouraging you to let go of some bad habits or routines connected to your health. Allow yourself to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hello, beautiful Taurus. This Venus retrograde will ask you to reflect, and you may need time alone to be introspective, to recharge, and to heal. Your dreams could be very unusual right now. You could be experiencing tension in certain friendships with this Mercury retrograde, and you also could be reconnecting with others from the past. You are thinking about the future and which relationships to bring along with you. The lunar eclipse can make you feel very creative, and you could also be experiencing karmic endings in relationships. Your children could also be going through some notable changes. Hello, beautiful Gemini. This lunar eclipse could bring up themes surrounding your home and living environment where there could be big changes occurring. The Mercury retrograde could bring changes within your family that make you rethink the future or even change your residence. There could be discord with certain friends and miscommunication connected to plans. The Venus and Mercury retrogrades are making you rethink your future and which friends you want to bring with you. You could also be rekindling old friendships. At work, there could be some misunderstandings connected to people in authority or tension within groups, but this could lead you into an entirely fresh new direction. The overarching theme for you at this time is significant shifts in your career. Hello, beautiful Cancer. The Mercury and Venus retrogrades both spotlight your career, your public persona, your spiritual beliefs, and your travel plans. Within your career, you could have discord or miscommunication with a boss. You are reevaluating what you are getting out of your career and how you can show up in a more nurturing and authentic way. You might travel somewhere you have been before, and you could have some delays, so be prepared and be flexible. The lunar eclipse could bring a change connected to your boss, or a change with a car or equipment connected to your work. You could also experience changes with your neighbors or with a sibling. Hello, beautiful Leo. The lunar eclipse will highlight your finances and possessions. There could be changes in your partner's finances. You may be decluttering, reorganizing, or clearing out items that weigh you down. You could be spending money on travel or higher education, and you are focused on your values. You could have some tension or delays while traveling this month. Be prepared and flexible. The Venus and Mercury retrogrades could bring you reconnections from the past. You may be triggered or notice patterns from the past that you need to heal. This is a good time to talk it out, perhaps with a therapist, release what no longer serves you, and heal from the past and those old patterns that need to change. Hello, beautiful Virgo. This lunar eclipse is in your sign and will bring significant changes to your relationship with yourself. You are shedding old identities and shifting the way you show up in the world. You may be having amazing healing conversations with a therapist or friend, forgiving yourself, or healing simply past patterns. You could be reevaluating joint financial assets, and there could be some arguments or frustrations connected to this. The Venus and Mercury retrogrades may ask you to look at your relationships and how they could be more balanced. These retrogrades can bring fated events that test relationships. You could also reconnect to someone from the past in a way that brings healing and closure. Hello, beautiful Libra. The Venus retrograde may make you desire a change in style because you just don't feel your usual self. But the retrograde is not a good time to do this because we often regret the changes we made once the retrograde is over. Your relationships will be highlighted at this time. You might hear about or run into an ex, which could help you reflect on and heal past relationship patterns. The eclipse can bring frustrations at work that can even lead to a change in career, and you might begin a career or a business with somebody brand new. The total lunar eclipse asks you to release things connected to your subconscious, and it can feel like an emotional purge. Mercury retrograde can bring some communication problems. You may be focused upon your health and health routines at this time. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. With this Venus retrograde, you may be revising your health practices and perhaps even changing doctors. You also may be desiring work changes, and the Mercury retrograde could bring miscommunications at work or with your children. Venus could bring some females into the picture who really help you out. You could hear from romantic partners from the past. Hold off on extravagant purchases, especially connected to your children that you might regret later. The lunar eclipse could bring a shift in who you work with on a day-to-day basis, and you could reconnect with old colleagues. Hello, beautiful Sagittarius. The lunar eclipse puts a focus on career, and you could be leaving your job or going through significant changes in your career to move towards something that feels better for you. You could be moving into a new home and feeling a lot of responsibility connected to this. Don't redecorate while Venus is retrograde because you may regret big purchases later. During this Mercury retrograde, don't purchase new electronics or gadgets for the home. You could have strains or miscommunications with your family at this time. You could also reconnect or hear from a past relationship. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. You are focused on your home and your roots, and there could be tension and discord with your family during the Venus and Mercury retrogrades. Don't redecorate or make big purchases for your home, especially technology purchases, while Venus is retrograde. It is a great time to renovate or refurbish. You could be traveling or looking at a vacation home during the lunar eclipse. You could also be moving away from your traditional religious beliefs at this time. Hello, beautiful Aquarius. This Venus retrograde asks you to reevaluate your finances and curb unnecessary spending. It also has you focused on your self-confidence and self-worth. You may be decluttering and donating. Communication can really go awry for you with this Mercury retrograde. Get your car repaired at this time if anything is due, to avoid car trouble or travel issues. The lunar eclipse could bring up emotional baggage and a need to reframe your mindset. You could also have a lot of changes in your finances and miscommunication connected to this. Hello, beautiful Pisces. This energy is all about you. You are reevaluating yourself, perhaps even having a bit of an identity crisis. You may be drawn back to old styles that used to work for you. Don't make any big beauty changes while Venus is retrograde. You could also be reevaluating financial priorities, and new doorways are opening for you to make money. You are feeling more independent and self-assured, and this is shifting your relationships. The lunar eclipse could bring an ending to a strained relationship, and a relationship from the past could return in some way. Enjoy the full blood moon lunar eclipse in Virgo, and remember that eclipse season is ruled by fate and destiny that does move us forward, even if it doesn't always seem so in the moment. Have a wonderful lunar eclipse from Psychic Treasures Unlimited.